Spartan Nation, once again, cue the woodshed. I'm Ken, the super cool Spartan, except for this week once again. My brother Brian, the super mad Spartan. I think he's taken my title because he just has a calmness about himself. Well, I've been more the mad one, I guess.
I don't know what there's to be mad about anymore. I've been saying it for weeks. This team just is what it is.
Which is very bad.
Very poorly coached.
Yes. Once again, another disappointing loss. Those L's just keep racking up. This time we lost to Minnesota 27-12. I guess we just love getting those losses.
They're not going out there trying to lose. Just this team is not good enough. They're not properly coached. They're not well coached, and it shows every game. And then coaching decisions, each game just get more befuddling and worse. Like last week, week before last, when we played Rutgers, when they're in onside kick formation, Harlan Barnett comes out there and says, well, some teams do that. And so then this week, he goes out there and does an onside kick with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter to prove himself right, seemingly. It's stuff like that. So again, you could probably watch like the last 3 or 4 podcasts that we've done, and it's the same thing over and over again. So I can't get mad when this team is meeting my expectation of how they're going to look. So that's why I'm not mad. So I'm more calm about everything. I hate that they're losing. I'm way more emotional during the games. This last game, I didn't have it in me to do a TikTok review of every quarter. I was like, what is there to say? I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for a new head coach.
I'm with you on that. And to your point, the only things I did on TikTok was just post pictures with words. The only video I did was before the game started, and I just did my expectation of another L, which happened. So, yeah, I think we should place this Spartan helmet with a big clown face.
That's what it feels like.
Because this is clown show city, to say the least.
If it wasn't for the podcast, I wouldn't watch these games.
I'm with you on that.
Like I would peek in every now and then, and you see the score close. I'll check in with it, but like this game, our initial thoughts. We get into it. First quarter, the defense gives them offense 2 turnovers. They can't do anything with it. We think they got the ball at the 10-yard or 20-yard line 2 times and came away with 6 points, so 2 field goals. And I already knew once then, and I was like, okay, they're going to lose this game because the defense is playing well, offense not doing anything. The defense, I was watching comp from On 3 Spartan Mag, and he had a prediction that Michigan State was going to get run over a little bit because they got tenderized playing Michigan last week. Because last week they played Michigan, they sought out to stop the run, and they pretty much did stop the run versus Michigan. They couldn't stop the third down passing, but that's just what it is. And so when you sought to stop the run versus a physical team like Michigan, cheaters, but it takes a toll on your body. And Minnesota wants to run the ball, so the only way I felt like Michigan State could win this game was if they stopped the run well enough and the offense scored points. The defense gave everything they could, and
the little engine that could.
They're human beings. They got tired. They got beat up by Michigan the week before. They're trying hard this game. They're giving the offense everything they can. Offense doesn't score any points, basically, and it's the same story over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's definitely an endless cycle of just ineptitude. And like you said, I already said it, I think maybe after the Michigan game, that maybe we're not going to win any more games.
No, for sure. The Rutgers game confirmed it. Like, no, this team they don't have it. I think they're trying hard. Shout out to the players going out there every week, putting their body on the line. trying to win for the the name on the front and back of the jerseys. And I do appreciate them going out there and doing it, but the coaching staff has failed them so much, and it takes a toll, because how do you get up emotionally for a game week after week after week when the same things keep happening to you? Just finding new ways to lose. And always and you can tell the turning point in the game. It's always one ridiculous play call, some type of formation or penalty that starts the downslide.
Yeah, that's true. They'll start with a penalty, a bad pass, a bad series on offense. It's definitely a snowball effect.
I wouldn't say a bad pass. I say mostly goes for the coach, because they'll do something stupid on fourth down. Hey, Iowa game. Fourth down, early in the game. We're on our side of the 50, and you decide to go for it. Knowing Iowa can't score. They're getting rid of their OC because there's no way he's going to average this 25 points a game that they're supposed to average. And the only way they score is by you making mistakes and giving them short fields and bad punts, turnovers. But you make that play call, and it changes the game. They get the ball back when they score. Now we're down. Rutgers, the Avalanche, the onside kick, the penalty. Then you have the befuddling special team stuff. This game. What was the back end? There's so many things in my mind right now. I can't even. What was the bad turning point in this Minnesota game?
Good question.
They were pretty lifeless after the first quarter, and then we get to, all right, they make a QB change, come out, score a touchdown. The onside kick was the death knell. That was it. That was the call of this game that solidified the loss. Onside kick, 8 minutes left, and you blew it.
Yep. Well, let's get into it. Good Sparty, bad Sparty. And we'll start with the good, because there's not that much good.
No.
Sam Levitt came in for Hauser, and he was able to move the ball and give MSU their first touchdown in 7 quarters.
It was crazy. In his first drive that he comes into the game, he puts up more statistics on offense than Michigan State had almost the entire game.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Wow,
well,
that's crazy.
Before Hauser goes off, goes out of the game. He only passed like 100 yards. Sam Levitt comes in and basically, in his 2 drives, has equaled the amount of offense that Hauser led the team to. And I don't say it's all Hauser's fault. I put this on the message board last week because there was a question, should Sam Levitt start the rest of the season? And my response was, I don't know, because we've seen this happen basically all through the Mel Tucker regime. We start off with Rocky Lombardi. He wasn't playing that well. Put Peyton Thorne in. He looks pretty good. He starts, looks okay. Now, to Peyton Thorne's credit, he was really good in 2021. 22, all right, he's struggling. Then we saw Kim come in a couple times. Kim looks good. We said, hey, let's try this Noah Kim guy out. We go into the season. He looks good for a while.
2 games.
We get to a Power 5 team. He's not looking so hot. We get a snapshot of Hauser. He comes in, looks pretty decent, moves the ball a little bit. Okay, they've been hyping Hauser up. Let's see what he has, see what he can do. Looked pretty decent versus Rutgers. Michigan wasn't great. Not his fault, I don't think. Then we have Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's not like terrible turning the ball over. It's just no juice with the offense, and that can mean a bunch of different things. Until now, we're on to Levitt. He looked good replacing Hauser, and we'll see. And to me, the common denominator in all this bad QB play and all this bad offense, same QB coach, same offensive coordinator. So are we going to start seeing the demise of Sam Levitt next? Because his coaching staff basically a QB Grim Reaper.
Oh yeah, I agree. So if Levitt goes bad, then what? We're gonna recycle back to Noah Kim and then go back to Hauser
Kim's been
and
hurt.
Levitt again.
Kim's been hurt, so he hasn't been available to play. So that's what that is. That's what they're saying. I don't know. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters, but it's good for Levitt to have tape out there to decide, hey, get some stuff on the film. If he decides to leave, he has a, hey, this is what I did in Michigan State my few times out there. He can go out there and show it, and he can say, hey, it's up to him. Same thing with Hauser. If he decides to leave, he has tape. He can go out there and do what he wants. Same for Kim, you know. And so it goes on. Because we're going to see more people leave when the season ends. Because new coach staff's going to come in. They're going to with their own guys. Some guys that might feel comfortable being there. They were recruited by this new coach.
Yeah.
So why should they stay? And it's their right to leave. And I don't begrudge any player at this point who's going to leave or has left.
Oh yeah, I don't blame them either. I mean, like I said, we've 6 straight losses. We're 0-6 in conference play, and yeah, there's no juice to the offense. Defense puts up a fight as much as they can, but they, like you said, they get tired in the fourth quarter, and then they get blitzed. Special teams, I mean, I've never seen such a roller coaster ride with special teams.
Well, I think that's good. Special teams is punting for the most part is pretty good, and place kicking is pretty good. Other than that, it's just the special teams operations in general, especially punting. It's always every game there's a pre-snap penalty for misalignment on punting. Like, how do you have this every single game? Not the first game when you're just getting back preseason, as you can call it. Nope, every single game from now into eternity.
Yep. Let's not forget about the penalties. I mean, MSU does still lead the conference in penalties.
They're giving up a touchdown in penalties, 100 yards plus a game. And it's mostly dumb stuff. Just false starts, offsides, personal fouls, just things they can control. You know, no team is ever going to play 100%, mistake-free football game.
Right, yeah.
But can we have let's just shoot low. Less than 75 yards in penalties in the game. And they'll start from there. And then you mentioned it, we're going to the next, the last kind of good thing we can talk about. The defense. They're pretty good through 3 quarters. But as usual, the offense didn't do anything to support the defense. And by the time they did support them, it was too late. They're dead tired. I remember specifically because I watched it before a game here, and I talked to Dad about it later on. In the first half, Michigan State's defense was on the field for 45 plays.
Whoa.
So for reference, most games, the average defense is only on the field for 60 plays, 70 plays.
That's for the entire game.
The entire game.
Oh, wow.
So the defense had almost been on the field for a entire game by the end of the first half. Yes.
Wow.
And so I said, okay, I know how this is going to go. Minnesota's going to keep on smashing the ball. And by the time they get to the fourth quarter, these guys are dead tired.
Yeah.
And then, to me, we're football novices. We're not X's and O's guys. We're just fans. We say this all the time. I just want to let you know I'm not going to get out there and start breaking down film. But if I know that small fact, that your defense is tired, you score a touchdown, you get Michigan State within striking distance, and you call this stupid-ass onside kick for whatever reason with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Your team just showed life. And so your next immediate thing is to give Minnesota a short field.
Right. Going from life to death.
And I was like, okay, I already know it's going to end. They're going to score a touchdown. I know it. And so soon enough, onside kick, they come out, run the ball down our throats.
Because prior to that, the score was like 20-12, I think. Yeah, it was 20-12 before they did the onside kick.
Yes.
And like you, when I saw that, I was like, yep, it's a wrap. That's a wrap.
I don't know that they shouldn't even win for 2. But that's debatable, going for 2, because you could add 14, and it's 14-20, so a touchdown wins you the game. I wouldn't have done it because I know.
I wouldn't have done it either.
And this is not. I'm not criticizing the deal for over 2. That's neither here nor there. It's just, to me, knowing the type of team that you have, and you have to play, this team can't play loose and loosey-goosey and you get out there and start doing all this wild stuff. This team has to play conservative because as high as they can go with making a big play here and there, they can give it up in an instant. And so you should try to limit those instances of them giving it up as much as you can. Not by calling an onside kick.
And that's what's so frustrating about watching this team is that this coaching staff, and I know we've harped on them a lot and we're going to continue to, it seems like they don't understand that concept. They don't understand that, okay, this is what I have for talent. This is what we need to do to play to the strengths of that talent. Not do onside kicks with 8 minutes left after you just scored, or not, do these ridiculous, play calls, bombing the ball down the field when you don't have the talent to make that type of play.
See, I disagree with you have to challenge people vertically occasionally, just to say, hey, we can do it. They hit a couple of long passes. Again, they just don't do anything well enough on offense to say, hey, this is what we do. So, I'm not... Like I said, what do they do?
Lose. That's what they do.
True.
Lose. So I guess all the good. So
we've been on to the bad. We've been to the bad. Coaching, offense.
They allowed 200 yards rushing, which I think the last year we played Minnesota, they had about that.
They did whatever they wanted to last year to us.
So, yep,
and I know it's under bad spray. I necessarily don't blame the defense a whole lot because I think they're playing well enough.
They've done turnovers.
Yeah, and they had none last year.
And we didn't do anything to capitalize on that.
What was it? We got 2 fumbles and interception from defense this game.
Yep.
6 points.
Yep. So I got to show for it.
6 points.
And which is 2 field goals, not a touchdown.
No.
But 2 field goals.
And it's those plays, those instances. And I'm not saying the defense is world beaters. I think they're what we've been asking for last week is just be average. We have a maybe a little slightly below average defense, but serviceable. That's the term. Serviceable. They're not going out there and completely embarrassing Michigan State like they have been doing for a little while. You can see improvement from the secondary. You can see some improvement from the linebackers. We don't have a pass rush, but overall they've been solid. The run defense looks worse because the offense leaves them on the field too long. And we saw it this game. So 200 rushing yards. They probably would have ran for 250 if their starting running back would have been in.
Oh, yeah.
Because we forgot, their starting running back was out when we got the backup who scored his first career touchdowns versus us.
That was always a first against Michigan State.
The get right team, I told you.
Yep. The get right team, and we're the ultimate wrong team because everything is just snowball, just woo, crash and burn.
Coaches.
And like you said, the onside, that was
the backbreaker.
Yeah, that was probably the worst call in that game.
And I know they interviewed Harlan Barnett about it, and he said it was his call, and they had practiced it, and they had felt really good about it. So, I just I can understand you working on it, but you have to know what type of game you're in.
Okay, so time out. Let me. So you said, so Harlan Barnett said that it was his call for the onside kick, right?
Yes.
And he said that he felt good about it in practice, so that means they executed it well in practice. And
I'm just saying, all teams practice this stuff, but there's a time to say, you know what? Let's just save that.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't time for that in the game. And I think when it came out, and I really can't see the time I would be okay with this call.
Yeah, that call wasn't even necessary in that game at all.
Michigan State found something, handled the momentum. Levitt comes in the game, has a little juice, offense moves, score a touchdown. Okay, within one score. I'm thinking, okay, we probably won't win, but let's make it a game.
Right.
Let's make Minnesota work for the defense. They could probably get us one more stop. That's what I was thinking in my mind. Maybe one more stop. And at least make them drive 75 yards to do it. But essentially, when you do the onside kick, one first down, and that's their field goal range. And that was basically the game. Now, if he felt like they wouldn't get the ball back, like the defense had been getting them off the field pretty well all game.
Right. Yeah.
So to put your defense in that bad a position, they've played at that point. My God, in the fourth quarter, there had to be 70 snaps. These kids are expiring.
Yeah, or expired, because at that point, whew, man.
So they march down there and score a touchdown. And then they score again after that because offense comes out there, he throws an interception. I don't even remember because they just saw
because like I said, prior to the onside kick,
it was
20-12.
Yeah, so
then they scored that touchdown, and that pretty much put a bow, for another W for Minnesota and another L for us.
It's our favorite letter.
Right.
Letter of the day.
And speaking of that, one thing I'll add to the bad Sparty list is that I've started seeing these pictures, Photoshop pictures, memes, what have you, about PJ Fleck. He's shaking hands with Jim Harbaugh wearing Michigan State stuff on it. I'm like, no.
No, we're not trying to row the boat here.
No.
Do not want PJ Fleck as our coach. Simply because I don't think he's done anything at Minnesota that warrants, okay, I want him as our coach.
Right.
Minnesota has never won the West, and the West is easily the weakest division in the Big Ten, and he hasn't won it. So to me, that says nothing.
Yeah, the one good season he had was they went 11-2.
Yeah,
the year they beat Penn State, I think.
That's his biggest win.
Yeah, that's it.
That's his biggest win versus Penn State. If you look at his record that year, they beat the bottom feeders. They beat the bunch of nobodies.
Those cheaters, huh? The sign stealers.
The sign stealers. But yeah, it's not a Minnesota podcast. But no, I don't want. No PJ Fleck, no Pat Narduzzi. Narduzzi threw his whole team underneath the bus last week. I want you to check out his quotes about we recruited some guys and the players aren't here and aren't doing it. I was like, okay, yeah. I don't think your team feels that one. But
yeah,
we're getting off the track. I'm so ready for a new coach. I don't even know who it would be. I know the dream is Urban Meyer. I always say in every podcast, there's rumors out there that it could happen, it might not happen, who knows. There hasn't been anything solid about it. So until I see a big name media person throw it out there, yeah, it's Urban Meyer, until it's on ESPN, Fox, and it doesn't matter. It's not real.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't even know, man. I don't know what big time. Unless, like you said, MSU had to back up a pretty big Brinks truck to get someone of a notable name.
The thing is, what's the notable name? Right? So
Urban Meyer.
Obviously, outside of Urban Meyer, everybody says, "Oh, we should hire a big name coach." Like, what big name coach?
I mean, you're right.
You're gonna have to.
It's not Nick Saban or Kirby Smart, even Deion at Colorado.
Deion is not. We don't know
it?
anything about Deion Sanders as a head coach yet. I understand that he has brought some juice to Colorado. Let's give it like 2 seasons. And that's
I agree with you. I'm just saying. I'm talking about, like you said, a name.
There's no names because we're heading to a new era of college football where the new names will be developed. Now, would it be great to get the next Urban Meyer? Of course, but we don't know who that is. And so that's what makes this coaching search so pivotal for Michigan State, as we talked about several times on the podcast, because either we become the bottom of the barrel in the Big Ten, or we fight for relevancy again. And the next coaching hire was going to determine that.
Yeah, but like you said, who is it?
I don't know. That's what people get paid millions of dollars to figure it out.
Yes. Well, if it was up to me, I would say, hey, Mr. Meyer, here's an offer that, I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. And until he says no in my face, I'm like, fine, I made my shot.
I agree with that. It's just, Michigan State, besides the football program, the administration is a clown show.
Oh, yeah.
That should be we should cue the clown show.
Oh, yeah.
Board of Trustees, we don't have a president. There's always been internal fighting behind the scenes. So,
like you said, Big Gretsch even stepped up and said, hey, I think y'all need to remove this person who is allegedly causing all this friction. So when you have the governor, who is a proud MSU alum, come out publicly to say, hey, y'all need to remove her, like, whew, that puts the stamp on the clown show big time.
The big red nose.
I know, like I said, we need to put like Homer the Clown right here,
Everybody. I know the message boards were ablaze with Urban Meyer rumors and everything else. I'm on board the Urban Meyer train.
As am I.
I have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you, but the way this program is going, like I said, this is worse than the John L. Smith era. Because even when John L. had his doldrums and losses, he still won some big games here and there.
Yeah, Michigan State was always good for a big upset once or twice a year.
Surprisingly, he was good at beating at Notre Dame.
Yes, except for that the year let him come back. But yes.
And he at least went. He didn't win it all against Michigan, but the one year where he kind of went toe to toe with them, and it took, Chad Henne to bomb the ball 3,000 times to
Brandon
Edwards to win in overtime.
Well, we're talking about it. You're talking about the players. They had guys on that team. Drew Stanton was a very good college quarterback.
Oh, he was, yeah.
We had all these players that at least went on to NFL, and right now, we don't have, I said it last week and I'll say it again, I know I repeat myself a lot, don't have people that scare you on offense, defense, special teams. And what I mean by scare you is that, okay, you got the game plan for this person.
You don't have to scheme for anybody.
No, you don't. You just have to say, okay, Michigan State, they do these things, watch the cues. All right, just play silent. They'll mess themselves up. They'll give you something.
Yep, or you can just coordinate with Connor Stalions.
Give him a phone call. Might be on the sidelines.
He might be on the sideline.
Ray-Bans and all.
Hey, here's this play. They going.
What a crazy story. We're not gonna get too into it, but just ridiculous. All right, who do we play next? Oh, the black shirts.
Those fighting Cornhuskers of Nebraska. Yes, we're back at home. And their record is 5-3 right now. They beat up on Purdue last week, who is just as bad as us. And as I was saying before we started recording, I was surprised that Nebraska is 5-3 because they looked pretty awful their first maybe 2-3 games.
Who are their 5 victories against? Like probably bottom feeders, but at least they're beating the bottom feeders.
Yeah, in the West Division. Yeah, they're beating up on I think outside of maybe Iowa and Wisconsin, You know, they're like they whooped Purdue. They beat Illinois. I can't remember who else is in the West.
It doesn't matter.
I think they maybe beat maybe Minnesota. I don't know. I mean, but they have a 5-3 record.
Yes, they're 5-3.
So-
They're going to make a bowl game probably because I'm sure they'll be bowl eligible after this weekend.
Yeah.
I just don't think Michigan State can win another game.
I don't think so either.
I will be there rooting for them. I know I make jokes like I don't want to watch it. I'll be there. I'm watching because I'm a masochist. I love Michigan State. But I just don't see it.
Even against Indiana, who looks just as terrible as us. But yeah,
it's just sad. Nebraska. I remember their quarterback he leads the NCAA in the career of turnovers or something.
Oh yeah, he does.
He gives the ball up.
Yeah, he
but
does.
so can we. So we'll see what happens. Battle of turnovers. Hey, we had that versus Rutgers and we lost. So.
Yep. And we lost last week, against Minnesota, and we had good turnovers, and yeah, well,
Sam Levitt might be starting. That's the news thing. Like, Sam Levitt going to replace Caden Hauser again. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know that it matters, and that's very sad.
Well, I will say that I think the basketball kicks off this week officially.
Hey, the team lost the exhibition, but they looked pretty good versus Tennessee.
Oh yeah, they did.
That's a good experience for the young guys because they're going to need a lot of those young players, especially the backup guards.
Yeah.
And Cohen Carr looked good. Now you know what you're going to get from Walker. Walker was a sensational. Hager tried to steal the victory.
By the way, we've already said this. This is the bad season where we're already talking about basketball.
I know. We just made it through the halfway point. We're like, hey, on to basketball.
Yes, when in doubt, believe in Izzo.
It's a good bet.
So, on to our fun fact. This one I kind of had to dig deep because one thing that is very annoying in trying to find different historical things about MSU football is that if you just Google anything about Michigan State football, asking a question, it always comes back to Michigan. It's like you put in some kind of random question about MSU football history. They bring up, Michigan versus Michigan State and all these different facts and fiction and all this stuff here. So this one I had to really do some digging on. So, what team does Michigan State have the most victories against in the conference?
I know the answer because they talk about it all the time because one of our trophy games that we won't be playing every year anymore. So you can go ahead and repeat it to the people.
So the answer is Indiana.
The Hoosiers, forks down.
Yes.
The team we should beat this year, we might not in football. So that record might be changing slightly.
But MSU has a 49, 18, and 2 overall record against Indiana.
Hope we could tie this year, but it's impossible. All right, we're just done. Let's just stop.
And that's through last year.
Yeah.
So last year, Indiana got their 18th overall win against Michigan State, but we've beaten Indiana 49 times, which is the most that we've beaten any Big Ten football team.
Maybe we can, in the 100-year Spartan Stadium, we get our 50th victory versus... Well, not at Spartan Stadium, so never mind. Scratch that.
It's at...
Oh, Nebraska's the last home game for the year. We didn't mention
yeah, it is.
Senior Day.
Yes.
Hopefully they can win versus Senior Day and get some of these, seniors a victory. Like, hey, we tried.
Right. Another quick tidbit, too, I looked this up. Since we're playing Nebraska, do you know what MSU's overall record against Nebraska is? I'll give you a hint. It's not that good, but let's take a stab at it.
Probably like 3-7 or something like that.
Close. 3-9.
3-9. Because I remember, this is how much of a Michigan State fan I am. I remember Nebraska first joined the Big Ten. That was one of the big deals that Michigan State had never beaten Nebraska. And so I think the first year they beat them had to be, 2013?
Yeah, 13 or 14.
Yeah.
And
so,
then Tucker beat him in 2021.
So that,
But that was it.
That's the 3 victories right
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
Mapped them out.
Yeah, so yeah, we don't have that good of a record against Nebraska, but
Yeah, they were a dominant team for a long time.
yeah.
Not so much.
Yep. Well, boys and girls, fellow Spartan fans, that's it for another another episode of Cue the Woodshed. Make sure to check us out on our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Also check us out on Instagram and TikTok. We have a lot of instant reaction videos. They're pretty funny. So check us out. And we also love feedback. You can hit us up also an email at blkspartybros@gmail.com. I'm Ken, the super cool Spartan. This is my brother Brian, the super mad Spartan, but for the past few weeks we've kind of flipped. This is Cue the Woodshed. We out.
Go green.
Peace. Go white.